I am Adam with the Outcasts, and welcome back to No Man's Sky. Building a base is paramount to progression in No Man's Sky. Picking the perfect planet for your first home? Well, that's a little more tricky. Today, we construct a starter base and learn how to unlock building blueprints. Immediately following getting your ship and getting airborne and taking off for the stars, you're going to want to progress to build a home starter base. Now, the starting planet that you begin on is not always the most hospitable, so it wouldn't hurt to poke around in your little system that you start in and see if there's a more suitable, more appropriate planet that might make more sense for you to build a starter base. So here you see me kind of navigating around inside the system, scanning the planets and checking their toxicity, their hazards, whatever I can pick up from my onboard scanner. I happen to come across, in a starter system, which is rare, a paradise planet. This planet will be my home for my starter base. I kind of enjoy ocean views, so depending on where you want to set up, head on into the planet and find that perfect spot for you to set up your starter base. This base is just going to be the bare minimum that you need to progress the storyline. No Man's Sky allows you to construct bases on lots of hospitable or habitable planets, so long as there's nobody that's built a base in your immediate proximity, or it's not a restricted area like a space station. So this planet doesn't look too bad, decent resources right around, there's some wildlife, nothing seems to be attacking me, so I think I might end up setting down here. This is a pretty planet. 3 suns, gotta love that. Make sure you pick up the deuterium plants, those give you a nice little boost to the jetpack. Oh yes, I'm going to call this my oceanside villa. Once you find the plot of land that you want to use for your first starter base, you have to build your base computer. So make sure you have the resources available for the base computer. You should find it in your construction menu. Place the base computer down on the ground and choose Claim Base. After you've claimed your base computer will come online and it'll tell you that you have archives available. So immediately interact with your base computer and extract those archives. These archives are going to give you your bare minimum wood construction. So a floor, some walls, some door, access points, and a roof. Extract the plans. They get automatically added to your inventory. And it's really nice, these entry-level pieces and parts only require carbon to build. And carbon can be found on all the plants and animals around you in the area, so you've got a pretty good availability for those resources. Navigate into your build menu, find your floor panel, find a suitable location, and construct it. Now scroll through your options to get your walls or your doors. I personally like having a indoor outhouse, so 2 sets of doors going in and out of this initial structure. Now I will give you a tip. When you begin building this base, you're going to receive some sort of inclement weather that will roll in. Typically, unless you're on a planet that doesn't ever have any weather that's inclement, typically you're going to have a windstorm or a blizzard or a firestorm or toxic storm or something that will trigger you to want to build this thing quick. So make sure you have enough carbon to build the basic structure initially. Even though this is a paradise planet, some paradise planets still have possibilities of inclement weather. As you're constructing your first base, you will get a notification of a storm of some kind on its way in. In this case, I got a superheated storm. Once you put all 4 of your walls on and a roof, you can then enter your base and you will be protected from the elements, from cold, from heat, from toxicity, from rain, from wind, from all of the different elements that could affect you and drain your exosuit's shielding. In one corner of our base, I'm going to plant down the portable refiner. Interact with your portable refiner, fuel it using carbon. So I have a little bit of ferrite dust on me, but that's not quite enough. I'm going to head out and farm up a little bit more. Alright, so it's time to build the construction research unit. It requires magnetized ferrite. So magnetized ferrite is actually regular ferrite that's turned into pure ferrite in a refiner, and then again in the refiner again turned into that magnetized ferrite. So you kind of step it up in the refiner twice. Now I initially went to put pure ferrite in to get the magnetized ferrite, however I know that I have to turn more ferrite into pure ferrite, so let's start with the ferrite to pure ferrite, and it'll combine the stacks for me, and then I can just put the entire stack of pure ferrite to get my necessary magnetized ferrite. Now I only need 20 magnetized ferrite, so that's pretty easy to acquire. Transfer that back into my inventory. One of the other ingredients for the construction research unit was carbon nanotubes, and that can be acquired just by getting carbon and then constructing that inside your inventory. Now go to your build menu, choose the construction research unit, pick a place inside your base that you like it, and build it. Interact with your construction research unit, and it would suggest for you that the user should recover salvage data from buried technology. Interact with your construction research unit again, and you'll be able to view all the available technology and building blueprints that it has, and there's quite a few. And it also shows you the cost of that salvaged data for your ability to learn each one of these recipes. So now it's off to go gather some salvage data. The planet that I was on that I built this basic starter base on didn't really have a lot of salvage data. So I decided to poke around the solar system again and see if there was a planet that might have more. From space, I'm able to see that there's salvageable scrap on this other planet, so I head over to investigate. As you're using your visor to try to find salvage data on the surface of a planet, you may come across salvage containers. Now that sounds very similar, but as I'll show you right here, it's not exactly the same thing as what you're going to need for unlocking all of those building blueprints. This salvage container had some protectors. Once I popped the cover off of the salvage container, out popped 3 of these little guys that I had to take down. Now, still using my starter weapon in the game with 0 upgrades, it does take quite a bit of hits to take one of these guys down. The advice I will give you is that your heat indicator up in the top right hand corner, as your gun gets closer to overheating, it actually becomes significantly more powerful. Here at the beginning of this fight, each tick that I'm taking off of these guys with my mining laser takes off 24 hit points. As my gun heats up, it jumps up to 34, and then up to 52, and then up to 56, and then to 62. So as you can see, the hotter the gun gets, the more damage it will do. There's a little balancing act you can do towards the top end of that overheating scale. Just before it starts to overheat, just release the trigger for a moment or two so it drops that heat temperature back down a little bit, and you can maintain it in the yellow, close going into the red to get the maximum amount of hit points out. Early in the game, you're not going to have a lot of currency. There's multiple different types of currency, but the most basic is just the units. Farming cobalt or other resources will help to earn that currency pretty quickly. However, these salvage containers sometimes contain relics, little trinkets that are very valuable and useless for anything else other than at the trade posts to sell. In this particular case, I ended up getting one worth over 800,000 units, which is a remarkable find for this early in the game. Okay, I've got my distraction out of the way, so now let's go actually find some salvaged data. Look for those little indicators, look kind of like a Wi-Fi signal saying buried technology module. That's where you're going to find your salvaged data. Usually you're going to need to dig underground to find them, so make sure that you have your terrain manipulator ready. Dig down and you'll get between 2 and 5 salvage data per container. Rinse and repeat this process until you have enough salvage data available to get all the blueprints that you want to learn. Occasionally, you'll even find double stacks of them. Here, as you can see, I find 2 of the technology modules to earn double salvage data, so good find. Getting salvage data can take you a while. It is a little bit of a grind, and you're going to travel over quite a bit of land on your hunt to get all of the salvage data that you need. Head back to your base, interact with your construction research unit, and spend all that salvage data on all the blueprints that you want to build or to upgrade your base. You only have to do this one time. Any new bases that you build on other planets will already have these unlocked, so this is only a grind one time in the game. Thank you very much for watching another No Man's Sky video from the Outcasts. I'm Adam, and I hope you enjoy your journey through the stars in No Man's Sky. If you enjoyed this starter base guide, please leave a like and subscribe down below.